All right, for this week's sprint, I've been able to get a networked version of the game running the movement for both sides, which I'll launch right here. This is also two copies of the exact same process running. You'll be able to see over here that the first one launched waits to find a server. If no server is found, creates it itself. And the second one over here will, sorry, the printouts are a little bit long. The side over here finds the server response and connects right here. So back in the game, I don't have the changing scenes networked yet, so I have to manually do that. But the movement replicates itself on both sides. And we can move the second player as well. Now, unfortunately, if I can get it to happen here, I have it networked only based on the player inputs, so you can get skew pretty quick. Not able to make it happen at the moment. There we go. There we've got the green skewed a little bit. And we've got the blue skewed as well. So obviously, collisions between players aren't replicated on the network because it's running two separate copies of the physics simulation. So that's what I'm working on fixing now. I think probably what I'm going to end up doing is having to replicate the let's get rid of all these noises. I think probably I'm going to have to create dumb versions of all of the game objects and create them instead of the regular versions when you're on the client. But as for the structure that I've put together, I think that's relatively robust. I've put together a network system that takes care of the instantialization of this, the network. This is the setup data. If you find a server, you don't need to be one. If you haven't found a server, then you need to create one yourself. This also sets the is server value so that other systems in the game, if they need to figure out whether they're the server or not, they can do that easily through the private static there. I also have read messages and the test keys for sending the messages back and forth to test connection set up for both client and server because it's a single executable that runs both sides. We have both a server and client here that can't have overlap because we need the specific functions of both. So the methods need to be differentiated by client or server version. I haven't found an easy way to deal with this if check in the send and create message methods. But for the actual game itself, I have created a strategy pattern that'll let me only update based off of client or server version, whichever I need to do. So that's here, client update versus server update. And that just at the moment, the only difference is changing the server versus client version. I intend to not do a physics update at all in the client version once I get the messaging across and the dumb version of the game objects implemented. And that's all for this week.